Transmission. Hey, mister, you're a friend of mine.
Hello everyone, Steve here again from Mr. Transmission. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about the differences between a traditional transmission service and a transmission flush. It's a question a lot of consumers out there are having, and what the differences and pros and cons. So let's start with the transmission service. In a traditional transmission service, a technician would raise the vehicle in the air, drop the transmission pan, and inside the internals of the transmission consist of a filter. So the technician would change the filter and reinstall the transmission pan with a new gasket. Now while the pan is off the vehicle, there is a little magnet in there, and the technician is able to, at that point, get a good indication of the health of the transmission. If there's a lot of metal on the transmission magnet, if there's debris at the bottom of the transmission pan, and so forth. So once the transmission filter, gasket, and the pan has been reinstalled, the transmission is refilled with new fluid. Now the argument with the traditional transmission service is the fact that only about 70 to 80% of the transmission fluid is changed. Now, if you're doing your transmission services at proper intervals, that's sufficient enough to revive the remaining fluid that's in the torque converter, the valve body, and any drums that are inside the transmission. Now, with a transmission flush, the transmission pan is not dropped by the technician. All that is done is the technician hooks up a transmission flush machine to the transmission lines, starts the vehicle and the flush machine, and transfers all the old fluid from the transmission and refills it with the new transmission fluid that's in the machine. Now the downfall with that is you don't have the opportunity to change the filter, gasket, and do a pan inspection to see the overall health of the transmission. The one pro of that, though, is the fact that all the fluid is being changed. But like I stated earlier, if you're doing your transmission services at the proper intervals, a transmission service is enough. So if you have any further questions or concerns about a transmission service compared to a transmission flush, please call the experts at Mr. Transmission and we'll definitely help you out.